Welcome to Dear Diary, the self-love podcast. This is your place to dive deep into personal development and self-love inspiration, connecting you to your intuition, your body, and your higher self, while unlocking and activating your confidence and inner power, inspiring you to show up and choose you over everything that gets thrown in your way, instead of listening to the limiting beliefs running around inside of your head. We will explore a variety of topics from conquering fear, letting go of doubt, self-awareness, mom guilt, trusting your intuition, along with a ton of self-care tools that I'll be sharing along the way. With solo sessions and a magnetic guest list of remarkable souls, this is my platform to empower others while using my voice to share my self-love, growth, and healing journey. I hope that this podcast serves you well and you get as much value from it as I do sharing it. So here we go. Hey friends, welcome to another episode where I process my shit. There's so many things that I want to say. There's so many things I want to say, express, share, process. And sometimes I just don't even know where to begin. I don't know where to begin. I don't know how to quite find words to it. I don't quite know how to express it, let alone express it in a way where you'll understand it and it will land in you. So I'm just going to riff again in this episode. And I don't have any notes. I just have what's alive inside of my heart. And I hope it lands in you. I hope you can follow along. And I hope it resonates with you. So here we go. I am in a season of letting go and detaching from the stories, right? Detaching from the stories. Here's the thing. We all have stories. We all have stories that run on loops in our head, right? They can look like, sound like, feel like anything. I'm a bad mom. I will never find my life partner. I'm bad with money. I'll never make enough money. Things are never going to be easy for me. Or the story could come that things always come easy for me, and then when it doesn't, then that throws you for a loop too. But basically, typically these stories are not good, right? They don't feel good, not all of them. Um, you know, I feel like it's different for everyone, and we all have so many stories that I could sit here and list examples forever. But I think you get what I'm saying when I say stories, right? It's the limiting belief about a particular person, thing, subject, whatever, that keeps you stuck. It keeps you stuck. It keeps you believing whatever it is this story is. And so putting the story out on the table, looking at it for what it is, not for what we think it is, not for how it makes us feel, but really like dissecting and zooming out of the story. What's in it, right? What's in there for you? Where is the teacher in this story? And I'll just give a really vulnerable example, which I promised myself I wouldn't give prior to hopping on here, but it's the biggest one that's alive inside of me right now. So we're just going to go with it. um, my relationship with my partner feels toxic, feels abusive at times, feels really hard, feels like a struggle. It makes me feel like I'm not seen, I'm not heard. He feels like he's not seen, he's not heard. We struggle. We go back and forth. We have this dance, right, where we love each other really hard and then we hate each other really hard, and we go back and forth and back and forth. And in some essence, it's like we're both healing ourselves. We're both on this journey, but it's a completely different journey, and it looks and feels completely different. And we're both sort of just trying to like navigate this life, right? And you've heard the saying 1,000 times, hurt people hurt people. And basically that's what's been happening, right? And so my story is I am in a toxic relationship and I am never going to feel loved and seen and supported and just have a good relationship. I'm never going to have a good relationship. It's always going to be hard. My relationships are always going to be difficult. I'm never going to be loved the way that I want to, right? Like these are all the stories that I tell myself. And even should I stay in this relationship or should I go? That's a story, you know? Am I going to label myself as the mother who breaks up her family? That's a story. And so these stories they run on loop over and over and over again. And so with my work, with my coaches and my embodiment practice and the somatic healing and the work that I did with Lindsay Reuter, who I did an interview with, about stepping into my power and just like really processing what's alive inside of me in this realm of what's going on in my relationship. Because I'll say this, I've said this, and I'll continue to say this, like, I feel so good. The work that I'm doing feels so aligned. I feel so inspired and empowered. And just like, I mean, yes, there's good and bad days. And yes, this is hard work, but like, I feel good. And then when it comes to this thing, right, this story, it knocks me on my ass. It really feels like it's drowning me. It really feels like that black cloud, that dark energy that's just like always following me. And so the other day I had this right after I recorded the episode about shedding your layers and not having these healing journey situations feel like big pops, but they just feel like little layers that you shed. Well, last night I had this moment where it was like a wave that washed over me. And I was doing a breathwork practice and it was like, oh my God, I think I just shedded that layer. Oh my God, I was just like sitting and thinking of all the work that I've been doing and how far yet I still have to come and how this story is like, is it ever going to go away? Is it ever going to dissolve? Do I need to stay? Do I need to go? Am I doing it right? Is it me? Is it him? Is it, it's like, and it just like, it dawned on me. It just was like a wave that washed over me. And it was like, detach from this. Detach from this. His pain doesn't have to be my pain. My pain doesn't have to be his. He should be able to come to me with a discrepancy or a problem, and I don't need to attach to that like I did something wrong, right? I don't have to have that like hypervigilance, just like sense of urgency where I have to fix things and I have to make sure that he's good and I'm good and we're good and nobody has any problems. And in order for me to be good and feeling loved and like thriving in my business and just like feeling inspired and empowered, we have to be good in order for me to do that. And it's like, no, that's a story that you've been telling yourself, that if everybody's got to be good around me in order for me to be good. And it's like, I feel like I stepped into this new paradigm, this like more powerful version of myself. And then I'm thinking, well, duh, that's what you've been doing. How is this any different? And the answer that I landed on was that it landed in me. Like it finally like landed. Oh, I know my power. I feel my worth. I know I'm good. But I can be good when we're not good too. And it's okay. I don't have to attach to other people's perceptions of me. I don't have to own other people's judgments of me, right? You are able to accept who you are, even though somebody may disagree. Because as long as you're in good standing with yourself and you know that your intentions are pure and you feel like you are in a good place and you are a good person, even if you're the most stressed out human on this planet. Like, if your intentions are pure and good, then who cares what situation is in your life or what people think about you or who may be judging you? Detach from that, right? If that's your story, you can insert whatever the story is, right? Like, maybe you're feeling like you're a bad mom someday. There's been a lot of moments lately where I'm like, oh, I got that wrong. Damn. I'm trying really hard, but I got that wrong. Detach from that. Give yourself compassion. And it's like, no, is that the big picture that I just get it wrong? No, I'm human and I'm going to make mistakes. I'm learning. We're all learning how to be parents as we parent. Detaching from the story of, I have to be perfect. I have to make sure everybody's good around me. Because it's not true. These stories are not true. And there's the beliefs behind these stories that are also not true. So in these moments, it's like allowing me to recognize who I am, what this story is, that the story is not true, and then rewriting a new story that feels true, right? I did this work yesterday after the breathwork session. We wrote down all of our old stories, and a lot of them were things that I've carried around with me for years, for lifetimes, right? Um, I'm never going to be successful. I'm always going to depend on a man to take care of me. I'm never going to be able to stand on my own 2 feet. I'm not doing the right things. It has to be hard. You know, when I what was it? For things to be good, I have to work hard. Right? I have to work hard for things to be good. That was a huge one for me, right? The constant doing, the constant to-do list, the constant pressure to do something and to be somebody, to prove my worth, right? Making things hard for myself because I believed in this story. And sort of when you look at these stories and you look at what's underneath them, feeling into what's alive inside of your body when you speak them out loud or when you think about them, seeing what feelings come up when you think about these stories. I mean, I'm looking at my paper right now that I wrote, and it's like, I'm not seen. I'll never be loved unconditionally. I'm not successful. I have to work hard. I have to prove myself. Those things are not true. Those things those stories, they feel so yuck. They feel defensive and like I'm proving myself and that I'm not hard and I'm not good enough and I'm trying too hard and I'm like things are just out of reach, right? Like there's so much fear and doubt and scarcity in that. And it feels like my body feels like it's like I'm slumped over, my posture's like meh. I feel this hard rock in the pit of my stomach when I speak about it. Feels like so much pressure and tension. That's not who I am. That's not who you are, right? Like, what's underneath that? They don't trust my abilities. They don't love me. They don't see me. Do I trust my abilities? Do I love me? Do I see me? What do these stories make you want to do? Well, for me, they make me want to try harder, do more, be louder, right? Be good. Take it. Take all the judgment and all of the defense and all of the resentment and the anger and the hate that comes towards me. It makes me just want to take it. Okay, that's what you got from me? All right, I'll take it. It makes me feel like I need to accept breadcrumbs. in my relationship and from life, right? I'll just be happy with whatever I get. Because obviously, if I didn't get what I really wanted, then I didn't work hard enough and I didn't prove my worth enough. What the hell is that? Making things harder for myself because it's what I was used to. Like, this is what the stories do. It's wild. And we believe them. We believe them. So I invite you to sit and think. Maybe break out your journal. What are these stories that you're telling yourself? And what should the new story feel like? What would you like the new story to be? If the old story is I need to work hard to prove my worth because nobody loves me unconditionally, maybe the new story sounds like it gets to be easy and I get to be seen and heard and loved unconditionally for exactly who I am. Maybe it sounds like I'm doing enough and it's okay to love myself first. Maybe it sounds like I get to share myself and be seen in my brightness, and it's exactly enough. And the words and judgments of others don't have to mean that they're true. These news stories, for me, they feel open and clear and easy, and my heart opens up and I can feel this like magnetic energy buzzing through me. I feel secure. I feel present. I feel ready to go. They don't make my body want to contract and hide. They make me want to expand and grow. But you have to be willing to feel through the old stories in order to embody the new stories. You have to be willing to feel your feelings. I'm pretty sure I've said that line or something along the lines of becoming friends with your feelings in one way or another in every single episode I've recorded. You have to be willing to feel through the old stories in order to embody the new ones. You got to let them old stories go. Let them go, release them, detach from them. See that they're not true. Feel that they are not true. When you hear them, when you feel them, when you see them, when they're in front of your face and they're screaming at you, if your body doesn't feel good, and if your body's like, oh, this hurts, it means they're not true. It means it's not for you. You have to be willing to feel these stories fully in order to allow them to shift. So, again, I invite you to just sit with them, journal about them, think about them. What are your old stories? Are they serving you? I should say, what are your stories? They may not be old ones yet. Maybe there are ones that you've moved past, right? And you can celebrate that. But what are the stories that you're telling yourself that are just keeping you stuck? How can you feel through them and then write some new stories that feel like you, that feel better, that activate that light inside of you, that affirm that you are enough and it's going to be okay? Rewrite these stories so that you can move on and you can have some peace in your life. So that's what I'm doing. We're rewriting stories over here. We are detaching from the ones that no longer serve us, and we are stepping into new layers of ourselves. That's what this journey is about. And it's funny, I read something the other day, and I almost want to stop saying that I'm on my healing journey. I'm not broken. You're not broken. We don't need to be healed. That's going to be another episode because there's more on that I need to get out, but I need to process it first. We are not broken. These stories have made us feel broken. So really, it's like I'm on my self-love and discovery journey of discovering who I am, rewriting my stories, sharing my experiences, and evolving. It's like a healing revolution. No, healing still doesn't feel good. This journey is wild, y'all. This journey is wild, whatever it's called. Okay. I feel complete. I hope that this served you well. I hope that it gave you something to think about. I hope that it inspired you to sit with your stories and see how you can dissect them and discover who you actually are and what the true story is. Because I know that you could, off the top of your head, I'm sure you could rattle off quite a few stories that you've been telling yourself. And it seems to be just keeping you stuck in them. I would love for you to be able to rewrite them as I am here in my many journaling pages that I've gone through. And if you happen to land on a story and you're stuck and you don't know how to rewrite it, reach out. If this episode served you well, reach out, share it in your stories. Tell me about it. I want to hear your process. I want to hear your discoveries. I want to hear your voice and whether or not these episodes are serving you and how they're serving you and what they're bringing up in you and for you, because that's the whole point. Okay. Until next time, I'll see you guys around. And that is it for today's episode. I hope that these words activated and inspired something inside of you. And if they did, please share this episode with a friend or on your social media, and feel free to tag me so that I can say thank you. The more people who hear these words along their path, the more we can help inspire and heal the world. Don't forget to hit subscribe and leave a review. Trust me, your future self will thank you. Sending love and light until next time. I'll see you soon.